everyone! Today in my gluten-free Disney kitchen, we are about to make an epic brunch offering from Disney's restaurant The Wave at the Contemporary Resort. We're going to make a gluten-free and dairy-free version of the sweet potato pancakes that you can get at The Wave. Now, fun fact, you can actually get these sweet potato pancakes at The Wave gluten-free and dairy-free. Now, sometimes they don't necessarily have these sweet potatoes on hand. They end up in the non-gluten-free, dairy-free version. They mix them in with some other stuff. So if you really want these, contact Disney Special Diets ahead of time just to make sure that they have some stuff that's going to be safe for you set on the side. I know that they really do try to make sure now that they do set aside some gluten-free versions of the sweet potato pancake ingredients, especially those regular sweet potatoes, because they get mixed in with something else. So they do try to keep some sweet potatoes plain on hand, but if you really want it and you're not sure it's going to be there, just go ahead and get a hold of Special Diets. But of course you can always make it at home, which is what we're going to do today. So big thanks to our sponsors, Namaste, for sponsoring this episode. And if you've been to Disney World with a special dietary need, you probably recognize Namaste, or maybe you've gotten some things made with Namaste and don't realize that it's featuring Namaste. Often the Namaste pancake and waffle mix, which is what I have here, is what they use for the allergy-friendly Mickey waffles. They also use it for some of the pancake offerings, including the sweet potato pancakes here. And they also use Namaste mixes in many cases for cupcakes and different kinds of muffins that you might get at some of the table service locations. Unfortunately, you can't get these at like the Main Street Bakery, but some of the restaurants, I know Chef Mickey's has made these before. They've made cupcakes with Namaste, and even the Wilderness Lodge. So Namaste is a huge presence at Disney, and so I'm really excited to actually use one of their products for these sweet potato pancakes. So we're going to go ahead and get these started. The first thing what we're going to do is we're actually going to mix the wet ingredients, and then we're going to add in our pancake and waffle mix, which is what I'm using instead of just a gluten-free flour. So starting off, we have a bowl filled with 1 cup of brown sugar. Now, the recipe typically calls for 1 1/4 cups of brown sugar. I reduce this just a bit because I'm using dark brown sugar instead of light brown sugar, which is what you should use in this recipe, because apparently my gluten-free Disney Kitchen's pantry needs to be restocked, and all I had was dark brown sugar, so I reduced that a little bit. And then also there's a bit of sugar in this, so I figured just a balance of that might work, but again, that's kind of up to you if you want to add in the traditional recipe, add in that 1 1/4 cup. So I've got a cup in here, and the other wet ingredients we're going to add in. So I am adding in 3/4 of a cup of pureed sweet potato. Now you can do this a couple of ways. One, you can buy canned pureed sweet potato, pretty easy. Just look for pureed sweet potato and just make sure the ingredients are just sweet potato and they don't have like pumpkin spice or anything like that in it. And then you can also roast your own. Just take a sweet potato, roast it, mash it up yourself, and put it in here too. So that's another nice way to do it, and I believe that's how they actually do it at the Contemporary at the Wave. The other thing is, if sweet potato is not your thing, you could always add pumpkin if you wanted to. So either one will work. So we're going to do 3/4 of a cup of that into our wet mixture here. Easy peasy. Set that on the side. Now we're also going to add in some eggs. It calls for 3 eggs. So again, this is not a vegan dish, but it is gluten-free and dairy-free. You could probably do some egg replacer in this if you wanted to make it vegan too. So we're gonna go put those into the pool. And in a minute, we're gonna start mixing all of this stuff up together. Then we're gonna go ahead and add in 3 tablespoons of oil. It should be some kind of vegetable-based oil, not olive oil, so keep that in mind. Although I think if you had like coconut oil, that would actually work really well with the sweet potatoes. So something to think about if you're looking to switch up your oil a bit. Then we're going to take 1 1/2 cups of a non-dairy milk. So I'm using coconut milk here today. Again, that coconut theme. If you're going to use coconut oil, you could use coconut milk. I'm using sort of almost like a 2% milk consistency kind of coconut milk. You could also use any other kind of non-dairy milk you want, or if you're just gluten-free, you want to use regular milk, you could do that too. So we're going to go ahead and put that in the pile. All right. And we're going to leave our dry stuff here. So we're gonna go ahead and give this a mix. So your mixture is, obviously this is pretty wet. Lots of stuff in the pool. But it's all gonna come together really quickly and really easily with everything coming together with the dry mix. It's gonna be nice and yummy. And I can't wait. I can already sort of smell from the spices that I have. They're gonna go into the dry ingredients and then kind of go into this pool that are really, really yummy. So, should look a little something like this, if you can see it there. My angles are terrible right now. So it's gonna be a nice little mixture. Again, whoa, into the pot. Okay, very fun. So we've got this. Next up, we're gonna add our dry ingredients to this wet mixture. So the first thing I'm gonna do is add in some of our spices. So I've got 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon and 1/4 teaspoon of ground nutmeg. So we're gonna toss those in. Boop. Oh my gosh, it smells like fall in here, which is, I love that. I can't wait till it actually starts cooking on the stovetop. It's gonna smell like fall. It's pretty awesome. Oh yeah. And if you're like me and you like cinnamon, you could add in some extra cinnamon because I tend to do that. And then next, we're gonna take our Namaste pancake and waffle mix and we're gonna do 2 1/4 cups of that into the wet mixture. Boop. Okay. So again, I'm gonna show you from here. You can see as we're starting to mix this. Easy peasy. What I love about this recipe is that it's very simple. You can put this together quickly. It's great because you can make it on a Sunday morning and have a great little brunch. I think this is gonna be awesome for the holidays, and it's something that I really am thinking that I wanna make this year for my holiday gatherings, just because I love that sort of fall-inspired smell and flavors to it. It screams holiday to me. But the great thing is you can get this pretty much any time of year at the Wave, which is super great. All right, so we can see our batter. What? So much sweet potato batter. So we are going to get a pan heating on the oven, and then in just a minute we're going to come back and we're going to take a look at these as we start to make these on the stovetop, and pretty soon we're going to have delicious sweet potato pancakes coming our way. So I can't wait. Okay, so we are about to go ahead and make our pancakes on the stovetop. So very easy, just at a medium heat. You're going to take a nice big pan for your pancakes. I've got a little bit of oil in the bottom of it. You can use whatever you would like. I prefer a little bit of vegetable oil, which is what the recipe calls for, but you could use coconut oil or any other kind that you'd like. The one I'd probably stay clear of is extra virgin olive oil, and that's just because it imparts a little bit of an extra taste to it, so I would probably stay away from olive oil, but any kind of neutral oil will work really well. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some of our batter and we're going to make small pancakes, almost like silver dollar ones. And this is a really great hack that I use whenever I'm making pancakes, because it makes it really easy to pour, is I just take myself a glass, like a Pyrex glass, fill it with my batter, and then pour it in here. Makes it a lot easier when I'm actually making my pancakes. So let's go ahead and get our pancakes on the road. And soon we're going to have our sweet potato pancakes. So we have our pancakes in right now. They're cooking away, and how do you know when they're ready to flip? Well, I always have learned that when you start to see lots of bubbles, as you do on the bottom one, that's a pretty good indication that it's time to flip your pancakes. So we're going to go ahead and flip these, and then in just a second, in just a few minutes, we should have our sweet potato pancakes ready to eat. So here's the first batch of our sweet potato pancakes that have been flipped. You can see, as I said before, once you start to see a lot of bubbles showing up on that first side of the batter, you know it's time to flip. So we've got these going, and we're going to keep an eye on these for about another minute or two, and then we'll go ahead and plate them. And the great thing is, these take no time at all. And of course, if you have a big griddle to make pancakes on at home, I know some people have those, you can get even more pancakes going at the same time, which is awesome. So Very soon we're going to be eating these sweet potato pancakes because they're looking even more delicious and done as we keep going. Okay, so our first batch of sweet potato pancakes are done. I can't wait for you to see these. Look at these beauties. Oh my gosh, don't these look great? So all I did was plate these up. I put a little bit of non-dairy buttery spread on here. You can use whatever you want. Again, if you can have dairy, regular butter is fine. Any kind of non-dairy stuff, great. So that's what I did here. I'm super excited to dig in. The last ingredient, maple syrup. Pure maple syrup. You can also put on here, which is how I've gotten it at the Wave, is just do some toasted pecans on top, or you can make your own pecan butter. I'm being extra lazy this Sunday morning, so we're just gonna do some maple syrup, but again, the pecans toasted on here add a whole nother level, so I definitely recommend that. So let's go ahead and put a little bit of maple syrup on here, or maybe a lot, you know. It's Sunday, why not enjoy? Oh my gosh. Oh, look at that. So good. All right, we got to find a fork because we need to dive in. And I've got a little bit more. I have so much pancake batter. I'm going to have so many sweet potato pancakes, but let's dig into these suckers. All right, here we go. I'm super excited. All right, ready? Cheers. These are such a great, comforting, warm, cozy dish to make. It really does make me think of the fall. I love the cinnamon and the nutmeg in it. It's just perfect. I love those flavors. The pancakes are extra moist because they have all that sweet potato in it. It's just something a little bit different that I love. So for my gluten-free Disney kitchen, go ahead and put on some PJs, make these sweet potato pancakes, and whatever other brunch or breakfast fixings you want. Enjoy, and stay tuned for our next episode. Of course, if you make these sweet potato pancakes or anything else from my gluten-free kitchen, Disney kitchen, go ahead and share those with me. Tweet me at GFDF_WDW because I can't wait to see what you've gotten and you've made. I've already seen some really delicious dishes, so I cannot wait to see your recreations. And of course, if you have suggestions for recipes you'd like to see on my gluten-free Disney kitchen, let me know in the comments. And if you want to stay tuned for all of the episodes and more of the Disney things that I do in the parks, like dining reviews, walkthroughs, and more, make sure you subscribe to Gluten-Free and Dairy-Free at Walt Disney World on YouTube. Thanks again, and for my gluten-free Disney kitchen, we'll see you real soon.